Hey folks, Tech Bravo with you again. This tutorial is going to be about designing your own ad banner to go on our digital signage platform. So if you want to take advantage of our advertising system that we have in place, we're going to go through how to make the ad banner that's going to be seen on all the displays and all the businesses around. So first thing you want to do is go to techbravo.net and go over to services, down to digital signage, and over to designing your ad banner. And you may hear some weird noises in the background. I've got my 3D printer going. I'm printing a job out right now, so you'll just have to bear with me. So we've got a couple of tabs here. You can use our ad design tools that are built in. There'll be a video tutorial here. That's actually what I'm making now, so that's why that's blank. And you can design your own banner if you're good with Photoshop or Fireworks or Illustrator or any of those kinds of things, and you want to make your own. You're certainly welcome to do so. And then also we can do it for you for a nominal fee. We'll be glad to generate you a professional ad banner to display on our ad server. So let's go back to use our own design tools. That's where you're going to come to, and let's just assume you're going to give our stuff a try. And I do have the steps laid out here, but I just want to kind of go over them with you. So the first thing we're going to want to do is have all of our stuff ready. Logos. A lot of people scan in business cards because you can get that pretty good in that aspect ratio. It's not a bad fit. So it depends on the way the card is designed. I'll show you a little bit more on that later. So first, we're going to assume that we have all of our stuff. We're also going to think about where we want the QR code to go, and this is something that may be kind of important in our ad server. It's going to look something like this on the displays. If you'll notice, over here on the right hand side there's a QR code, and that takes you to our website, directly to the Advertise Here web page, so that you can read more about what's going on and actually advertise now. But you get the picture. So in this instance, QR codes are going to be pretty important, because someone could just get their scanner app going on their phone and snap the QR code, and they're walking off with your information instead of trying to remember it, because it's only going to be up here, approximately 10 seconds per rotation. It'll come back around eventually, but they may not have the time or the want to sit here and wait for it to come back around. So if you haven't ever used QR codes, this is a perfect example of why you really should. So let's go back to this. I also have an ad template in PNG that's the right dimensions. I didn't put any margins or anything like that, or any kind of guides or boundaries like that. It's just a blank slate, but it will at least get you the right size. So what we're going to do is click here, and we're going to download it, and it's going to go to my downloads folder, just because that's where everything goes. Depending on your browser and how you have it set up, it may go to a different place, but you should be pretty comfortable with where that's going to be. So step 2, let's go ahead and make our QR code, okay, and get that out of the way. So we're going to click here, and our QR code generator is going to come up, and we're going to go up here and click URL, and we're going to type in the URL. You can type in anything. It's a good idea to put the fully qualified URL in there. So HTTP, if it's secure socket layer, add the S, schwack, and we'll just put techbravo.net. And if you'll notice, the QR code changes dynamically as we're typing all that stuff. So we've got it. This is our QR code. We're going to go over here to save, and let's call it Tech Bravo QR code. And we're going to keep it in a PNG format and save it. And it's going to go down into our downloads folder as well. So after we've done that, we can close that window and move down to step 3. Assuming we have all of our other stuff, we're going to open the image editor. And once it gets open, we're going to go to Browse, and we're going to find our ad template. And again, it's just a blank slate, but here we are. Okay. Now the first thing I want to do is go ahead and add my QR code. So we're going to go down to Adjustment, add an image, and all this stuff is in the text, so you can read along and see how to do it as well. We're going to go to Browse, and let's find Tech Bravo QR code, and we'll go ahead and place it. Now that looks a little big to me, so I'm going to shrink it down just a little bit, not a lot. You don't want to lose the resolution, otherwise it won't pick up. And you don't want it too close to the edge, because on some displays this margin all the way around the outside, depending on the display and the aspect ratio and the way it's set up, it may go out over the edge and you may not get it all. So leave yourself a little room in here. You don't have to have everything way out to the edge. You want to keep this whole thing short and sweet, because they're only going to be looking at it for 10 seconds. So you don't want to put too much information over there. There'll be an overload. So after we get that in place, we're going to hit apply, and then we're back to our other tools. At this point, I don't think I would go with a border, but there are overlays. You can do different things to try to give it, some flair, and you can apply it. I think you'll have to play with these things. I'm not. Let's try grape. I think we may be on the wrong. There we go. Okay. But yeah, you can add different backgrounds and things like that, but I'm going to cancel that. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to try my business card. So I'm going to go back down to adjustment. And I'm going to add an image because I scanned in a business card. And then we're going to browse for that image. And there's my business card. So we're going to open it up, and now it's going to come up here. Now this is a fairly small resolution image. It's 540 by something. It's not incredibly large. Now, what you have to be careful of is you may come to a point where you'll start getting pixelated if you try to expand it too much. So I don't know if maybe you want to pull it over up to the side and add some other things. I mean, this is where your creativity is just going to have to come in, and then if you run into some trouble, then of course we can try to help out. So let's just apply that, and let's say I like it like it is. I've got my company name, email address, all of that stuff. Got my QR code there. That's really all I need. So I'm done. I'm ready to upload it to the ad server. So we're just going to go up here to save, and I'm going to rename it so it doesn't write over your template, because it's probably going to go in the same place. So we'll call it Tech Bravo Ad Banner Final, just because we know that's our final. And we'll save it, and it will go into there and save. That's all there is to it. You've got it. And there'll be a link on here on where to go to actually do the subscription for the advertisement, and that's going to be in another tutorial. I'm going to make one for that as well. But that's all there is to it. Again, if you have the knowledge and the desire to create your own, and you have your own editing tools and things like that, please feel free. One thing I did not put in here are the specifications, and I can add that, I believe. Let's look real quick. Let's go ahead and go to advertise now. This will be part of the next tutorial, but I do need to add that in there. It's at 1920 by 830 are the dimensions for the ad size. That's the only size it will take, so it must be 1920 by 830. So I'll be sure and add that in the text, so you'll have that as well. But that's pretty much all there is to it. And if you have any questions, you can, of course, feel free to contact us. And if you want us to make it for you, we'll be glad to do that as well. So go to my website, www.techbravo.net, and check it out. Have a good evening, folks. Thanks.